With all Elite Wrestling being the talk of the town, it's easy to forget that Cody Rhodes has spent the majority of his wrestling career in the WWE. To get a quick refresher, and because so many of you requested it, let's look at Cody's first and last matches. Disclaimer, I'm only going to be looking at Cody Rhodes' first and last matches in this video. For Cody's run as Stardust, I'll have an entire video just looking at that. Alright, let's get started. As you likely know, Cody Rhodes is the son of Dusty Rhodes, so getting into the wrestling business seemed pretty natural. Before pursuing professional wrestling, Cody had already made a name for himself in high school by winning a couple of tournaments and was even planning on wrestling collegiately. As we know, Rhodes went the pro route and started performing in Ohio Valley Wrestling in 2006, which was WWE's development system at that time. A little less than a year after debuting in Ohio Valley, Cody made his first appearance in WWE. During a backstage segment on Raw in 2007, Cody Rhodes stood alongside Dusty, and they were approached by someone Cody would become very familiar with, Randy Orton. The Viper showed a lack of respect to the American Dream and ended up slapping Dusty Rhodes. The next week, Cody returned the favor by giving Orton a slap across the face. Of course, this meant the two had to square off in the ring, and on July 16th, 2007, they did just that. Cody was accompanied to the ring by his father, and after a stare down, the match got underway. Cody used his quickness to counter Randy Orton's first few attacks, but all it took was one well-placed clothesline to knock the future American Nightmare down to the mat. Despite Cody being Orton's opponent, Orton seemed to be more focused on a different member of the Rhodes family, as he'd take his eyes off Cody and taunt Dusty. This did end up helping Cody, as he was able to use Randy Orton's lack of attention to get some hits in. But whenever Cody would start building momentum, all it took was one mistake for Randy to lay young Rhodes out. The Legend Killer didn't use many crisp moves during the match, and mainly focused on stomping and punching to inflict damage. Cody's biggest moment came later in the battle. After he broke out of Orton's grip, Rhodes decked the youngest WWE World Champion with a series of punches. Then, after knocking Randy Orton down temporarily with a forearm, Cody climbed to the top rope and hit a huge missile dropkick. Rhodes raced for the cover, but wasn't able to get the 3 count. Randy Orton then put the match away, hitting an inverted backbreaker and sealing the deal with an RKO. After constricting himself around Cody for the pinfall, Randy Orton decided he wasn't done and looked to hit Dusty Rhodes with a punk kick. Just as Orton was closing in, Dusty turned around and made the Viper slither away. Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton would have a rematch, but the outcome was the same. Things picked up once Cody teamed up with Hardcore Holly after Rhodes earned Holly's respect. The duo would strike gold at the end of 2007 when they won the World Tag Team Championship, as well as Cody Rhodes' first title in WWE. The two were able to retain against any challengers that crossed their paths, but in June 2008, Holly and Rhodes' team-up would be destroyed from the inside. At the Night of Champions pay-per-view, Cody and Hardcore were prepared to defend their titles against the recently debuted Ted DiBiase and a mystery partner. In a twist, Cody Rhodes turned on Hardcore Holly, revealing himself to be the other half of DiBiase's tag team. This new partnership ultimately led to a group known as Legacy, which would also include Randy Orton. This helped really elevate Cody's career, as he feuded with Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and the McMahon family throughout 2009. Once 2010 rolled around, it was time for the Legacy to retire. Tension would begin to build inside the group, and it came to a head at WrestleMania 26 in a triple threat match. Even though DiBiase and Rhodes formed a bit of a truce, Randy Orton still walked out the victor at the biggest show in wrestling. After about 3 years of tag teaming, Rhodes would reinvent his character by becoming Dashing Cody Rhodes. As you can probably guess, this new gimmick centered around Cody being obsessed with his looks, and especially his face. In probably one of the more forgettable tag team title reigns, Cody and Drew McIntyre won the tag team championship in September 2010, only to lose them a month later and disband the tag team shortly thereafter. In early 2011, the next evolution of Cody's career would begin. During a match with Rey Mysterio, Rhodes legitimately broke his nose. After he returned several weeks later, Cody wore a protective mask and declared he was no longer dashing. Later on, he'd also hand out paper bags to the members of the audience as their ugliness offended him. With the help of his father, Cody Rhodes beat down Rey Mysterio, and the two faced off at WrestleMania 27, with Cody emerging victorious after striking Mysterio with a knee brace and hitting the crossroads. The master of the 619 would have the last laugh, as Rey won the rematch at Extreme Rules. Afterwards, Cody and Ted DiBiase would start teaming together again. This worked out pretty well, as with some help from DiBiase, Rhodes was able to capture the Intercontinental Championship by defeating Ezekiel Jackson. Ironically enough, 2 weeks after this victory, Cody turned on Ted after the son of the $1 Million Man was unable to beat Randy Orton. This set up a championship match at Night of Champions, where Cody Rhodes retained the Intercontinental title. While this is going on, Rhodes was beginning a feud with Randy Orton. On the September 9th episode of SmackDown, the Viper scored a victory on Rhodes. Then, over the next few weeks, Cody managed to gain 2 wins over Orton, whether it be by disqualification or a distraction. The basis of the rivalry was Cody being upset at how he had been treated by Randy Orton, and how he felt Orton held him back. The two squared off at Vengeance in October, where Orton won their match. The feud between the two former Legacy teammates came to an end about 2 weeks later when Cody lost yet again in a street fight. It's not really important to the story, but during the middle of this feud, Cody unveiled the new Intercontinental Championship design, which is actually just a throwback to the 80s Intercontinental title. Anyways, after Rhodes and Orton's feud wrapped up, Cody would say that the Viper set him free, and thus he didn't need to wear the protective mask anymore. So after battling with a multiple-time world champion, Rhodes' next opponent would be a commentator. But this wasn't Michael Cole or someone like that. It was actually Booker T. The rivalry began when Cody threw water in Booker's face, when Rhodes claimed he heard the 5-time WCW champion criticize him. The two had a match set up about a week later, but while Booker T was doing an interview, Cody attacked him, causing the match to be cancelled. The two would continue to fight from week to week, and so naturally, they had a match at the TLC pay-per-view for the Intercontinental Championship. During the show, Cody would sneak attack Booker T not once, but twice. When the match finally did start, Booker T put up a good fight, but Rhodes was still able to retain his title. They had 2 more matches after that, one non-title, which Booker T won, and one title match, which was won by Cody. The future Bullet Club member would walk into 2012 with gold around his waist, but this wouldn't last forever. After the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, Cody Rhodes started taunting the Big Show by highlighting embarrassing moments from the world's largest athlete's WrestleMania career. Cody would get his comeuppance at WrestleMania 28 when his near 8-month title reign ended, as Big Show came out on top. After the loss, Rhodes would go through a losing streak as Big Show started distracting him with embarrassing Cody Rhodes moments. Kind of funny, because that's what Cody did. Anyways, Big Show's championship reign was short-lived, as he lost the title back to Cody in a tables match at Extreme Rules. Unfortunately for Rhodes, his second run with the IC title was way shorter than the first, because he'd lose the championship to a returning Christian at Over the Limit, about 3 weeks later. The next notable event in Cody's career was when he started teaming with Damien Sandow, dubbed Team Rhodes Scholars. They got their first shot at the tag team champions, Daniel Bryan and Kane, at Hell in a Cell after winning a number 1 contenders tournament. Sandow and Rhodes lost that match, but they would get a rematch about 2.5 weeks later on Main Event, which they also lost. Team Rhodes Scholars would have a couple more title matches, with the final one being at the 2013 Royal Rumble, which they once again lost. A little while after, Cody and Damien said that they were going to dissolve the tag team, but then they reunited for a match against Brodus Clay in 10-sided Elimination Chamber, and then they just started teaming together again like nothing ever happened. Weird. Well, this time around, Team Rhodes Scholars was joined by the returning Bella Twins, and they continued to battle against Tons of Funk, as well as the Funkadactyls. The two sides were going to fight at WrestleMania 29, but due to time, their match ended up on the Raw after Mania, where Cody's team lost. Team Rhodes Scholars came to an end for real at Money in the Bank, when Damien Sandow threw Cody off a ladder and obtained the Money in the Bank briefcase. The two former teammates then started a feud, which included Cody Rhodes throwing the briefcase into the Gulf of Mexico. Cody and Damien finally squared off at SummerSlam, which Cody won, and likewise the rematch on Raw the following night. Not so great for Sandow, but good for Cody. This was kind of an interesting time in Cody's career. We hadn't seen him as a good guy since he debuted in 2007, so his face turn was a change of pace. He went full hero when he questioned Triple H's decisions, which resulted in his job being on the line against Randy Orton. Like many of their other encounters, Cody Rhodes was defeated, but this time, his WWE career was over. Except it wasn't. After Cody's loss, his brother Dustin Rhodes, or Goldust, fought to get Cody's job back, and even his father Dusty pleaded to have both his sons reinstated in WWE. They were finally able to get somewhere when Cody and Goldust jumped the barricade and attacked the Shield on Raw. This attack led to a match between Cody Rhodes, Goldust, and the Shield. The stipulation was, if the Rhodes won, they would get their jobs back, but if they lost, Dusty Rhodes would be fired from his position at NXT. Cody and Goldust ultimately won, and were back in the WWE. This victory helped get them a tag team championship match on Raw about a week later, which they also won. Everything was going pretty good, until the 2014 Royal Rumble. Just like last year, Cody was in a tag team championship match, and also like last year, his team lost. Unfortunately, this time around, he also lost the tag team titles, which were won by the New Age Outlaws. They were unable to regain the championship in a rematch, and to top it off, they began to go on a losing streak. Things would finally come to a breaking point at Payback. As little did we know, this would be the last time we'd hear the name Cody Rhodes in a WWE ring. Going into their match, Cody's morale was high that he and Goldust could end their losing streak. The Rhodes brothers' opponents were two former Paul Heyman guys, Curtis Axel and Ryback, known together as Rybaxel. It was Goldust that started things off for Team Rhodes. While Axel got a few blows in at the start of the match, Goldust's veteran instincts allowed him to whip the future B-Team member around the ring and plant him with an atomic drop. The oldest of the Rhodes brothers wore Curtis Axel out enough to take his younger sibling in. Despite Cody's high spirits, Axel gained control and got Ryback involved. Knowing that the big guy's strength would jeopardize the match, Rhodes used his speed to keep the fight alive and tag Goldust back in. History repeated itself when Ryback caught the Bizarre One off balance and slammed him into the corner. Curtis Axel then became the legal man and landed a hard knee to the side of Goldust's head. To prevent losing control of the match, Axel tagged Ryback in, where he landed a handful of intense moves. While Ryback was going down for a splash, the son of Mr. Perfect tagged himself back into the contest and entered into the ring with an elbow drop. When that didn't get the pinfall, Ryback went back inside the ropes and started attacking Goldust's arms. After taking out just as soon as they tagged in, Ryback decided to remain the legal man for Rybaxel. This proved to be a mistake, as Goldust landed a handspring back elbow, forcing Ryback to tag out. Curtis Axel tried to regain control for his team, but Goldie was able to fight back and tag his brother in. Rhodes came in completely fired up and raced around the ring, dealing high amounts of damage to his opponents. Cody followed this onslaught of moves by climbing to the top rope, where the one botch of the match happens. Just before hitting a moonsault, Rhodes loses his footing a bit and more or less falls into Rybaxel. I wouldn't say it looked awful or anything, and it doesn't seem like anyone was hurt too bad. Back to the match. Cody went to hit the disaster kick, but Ryback caught him and threw Cody into his brother. The match was almost over after Ryback landed the meat hook clothesline, but Goldust had his brother's back. Cody tried to finish the match with a roll-up, but when that didn't work, he used the crossroads. While he did manage to hit it, it was Ryback's tag partner that intervened. After removing Axel, Cody Rhodes decided to attempt the disaster kick again. Like the last time, the big guy caught Cody, and unfortunately, it resulted in another loss for the Rhodes brothers. After the match, Cody said,
"You need a better tag team partner than me."
With that, Cody walked out, and this is the last time the name Cody Rhodes would have a match under the WWE banner. As I mentioned, we'll cover the whole Stardust phase of Cody's career in its own video. For the time being, some stuff happened, and on May 26, 2016, Rhodes was officially released from WWE. After that, Cody was kind of all over the place. He wrestled for a number of high-profile independent companies, and in 2016 alone, he made debuts in Impact Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and New Japan Pro Wrestling. Probably his biggest moment during that time was when he became a member of the Bullet Club. From there, he formed a partnership with Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks, which developed into something nobody saw coming. After performing all over the world for about a year, Cody along with the Bucks decided to produce their own wrestling event. The idea came when journalist Dave Meltzer didn't think Ring of Honor could sell out a 10-seat arena. Cody took that as a challenge, and with the help of Young Bucks, and probably a ton of other people, they set off to sell 10,000 tickets to a wrestling event. The show was fittingly named All In, and was held on September 1st, 2018, in Hoffman Estates, Illinois. Tickets sold out in 30 minutes, and the show received critical acclaim. With the event being a massive success, the next question was, how do you follow this up? Rhodes answered that at the beginning of 2019 by announcing the start of All Elite Wrestling, AEW. The first show under the AEW name was Double or Nothing, held on May 25th, 2019. It's also been announced starting in October of 2019, AEW will air live and weekly on TNT. It's definitely an exciting time to be a wrestling fan, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with AEW. Cody, though, has had such an interesting career. While his run in WWE was good, he never seemed to fully reach the main event level. After WWE, though, Cody's career was really elevated, and has become one of the biggest players in wrestling. Anyways, we'll be following up this video with a look at Stardust's first and last matches, so if you're a subscriber, make sure you hit that bell icon to be notified when it's up. I'm Zach from Tap Out Corner, and I'll see you next time.